Jim. Recording. Got it. Welcome, you guys. Happy Friday. I don't know about you guys, but this week has been weird having Monday off. It's like, is it Thursday? Is it Friday? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. But anyways, you guys, I have a wonderful special guest with me this Friday. Let me tell you, it is so hard to find a more beautiful soul or more beautiful person than our guest today. Claudia Diaz, she is a global real estate, specialist helping people all over the country. She works in South Bay, and she's also my wonderful Women's Council sister, where we serve the state of California for the Women's Council of Realtors as district vice president. So without further ado, Claudia, welcome to the call.
Oh, Halley, thank you so much for your so sweet introduction. I am super, super humble just to be here and be part of this amazing program. Looking forward to just meeting everyone, chatting, and sharing the light and uplifting.
Oh, I love it. Hey, seriously, this girl's so positive. She's like my cheerleader. Whenever things are tough, I always want to give Claudia a call. She's great. But Claudia, tell us a little bit more about yourself. I know I said a couple sentences. What is your relationship with real estate? Tell us what's going on.
Wow. So real estate is my basically life. I started as a really, really young child. I can say it was my first job. I started maybe taking classes and courses at the age of 18.
Wow.
Got my real estate license a little after I purchased my first little investment. At the time, I still didn't have my license. So, but I was guided by my real estate professor, who pretty much took me under her wing. So I can say it has been my life. I really say it's always important to lead by example, but always lead by your experience. Share your triumphs, share your downfalls, share your whole experience. That way your clients are able to basically understand that they're going through the same thing as well. But there's hope at the end of the day. So what can I say? It has been my life, and I am blessed, and I'm honored to be able to share that. But it did not come easy.
No, it didn't come easy. I had no idea you got involved in real estate so young.
Yes, actually, I did. Yeah, pretty young. I started taking the classes, and yeah.
But where did that come from, Claudia? I mean, not many people start at a young age and go, hey, mom, when I grow up, I want to be a realtor. Like, where did that come from?
So I pretty much, I think I do believe that it came personally for me. It was from my parents, the American dream. I'm a daughter of a immigrant. My parents are born in Mexico. They came here at a young age, and they had that American dream to purchase their home. So I do believe that I was encouraged, and I always saw that as, hey, that's the American dream, to buy a home, to own your land, to own your property, and to be in control of your land pretty much, right? But so I've always figured that was a way to establish. Of course, I continued going to school, college and everything else. However, I decided to take a real estate course, and that had to do a lot. Also, my sister encouraged me to do so. And the property next door to my house was actually for sale, but it was more or less like a probate. And I was raised next door to the house. I remember it's a duplex. So I remember it was, funny. My brother and I would always like hop over up at the roof and just sit up next door to the house, because they were so connected, right? So closely. And we'd sit there, and it's interesting how who would have thought that, later in life I would own that property. But I decided, hey, let's place an offer. I heard it was for sale, and I knew the neighbors, they were older. They were actually an older couple, a couple in the front, a couple in the back, because their parents owned that property. So when they were ready to, grow their family, they decided to sell and move out. So I figured, hey, that's a great opportunity. How do I do this? My professor taught me, she pretty much guided me. But overall, when I went to submit the offer, they're like, little Claudia wants to buy the property. And I was like, yes. So that's how I began. And that was pretty much my first investment. It's not easy at first, because you wonder, how are we making the payment? What are we doing? At the time, I was also working for a lender as a loan processor. So I was a junior loan processor, but I was just beginning. So I was learning about rates and everything else. But I think my mom asked me, Claudia, what rate are you going to get? I'm like, I don't know. Let's figure this out. So we started shopping around. No, I didn't get the rate through my job. I actually shopped because I was referred by the real estate agent, to a lender that would just tell me, you're not getting no more than a 9, no more than a 9. So once I started shopping around, I went with Countrywide, who gave me the opportunity for the FHA first time buyer, 3.5% down. And it all went forward from there. So it was a great opportunity. And I think I was able, the tip I had from my professor was, you live in one unit, you get a roommate, right? And then you rent the back. So all of that helps you with your monthly payment, and how to just continue, that wealth of investment as well. So after that, of course, I fired my agent because I pretty much did all the work on everything on that property. And I think that's what enticed me. Hey, you have the classes, go take that exam and go help others along your journey, and how you're able to help their American dream come true as well. So yeah.
Oh, that's a beautiful story. I mean, so many people start that way with a transaction that they wanted to keep, some money to be able to invest in, or a family home or something that compels them to get into real estate. And so many times that igniter is maybe an experience that wasn't a super positive one, right? And,
Yes.
and I think that speaks to your story of how you want to help people. You talked a little bit about, the American dream. And I think it's so interesting in a culture now where people, there are some very, very famous financial investor people advising against owning homes, saying that it's not the thing to do. So now we have this culture that's, side by side, we have those that they're propelled by getting a home and growing their wealth. And then those that, maybe consider renting, especially in such a high volume area such as ours. What do you say to people that are like, do I really need to own a house? Is it important? I heard people talk about how maybe renting's good. Like, what would you say to someone like that?
I mean, I do believe it's having its financial wealth, right? It's having something to pass on to your family. It's an investment.
Yes.
I see it as a young age. I saw it more or less as a piggy bank. I mean, you need to live, you need to pay rent, you need to pay a roof over your head, not rent, but one way or another, it's either a mortgage or a rent. I mean, we're not all inherited. We don't, right? We all have to go to work. That's the American, what we do in America and all over, right? All over the country. So one way or another, it's you either pay rent and you pay someone else's mortgage, or you invest in yourself. You pay your mortgage and invest in yourself. The day of tomorrow, as we know, rates fluctuate. You can always refinance, you can cash out. So I do believe that it's the way to go. And I've helped so many people just when they began, first time buyers, they started, I led by example, the 3.5, hey, there's hope. That's how we began, right? You're perhaps not going to be in the area that you want, but you're somewhere, you already invested. You're able to sell, cash out, and relocate. So it's step by step. It doesn't happen all in one day. It takes time. But there is hope. And I am a believer that you just have to begin baby steps, and your baby steps are perhaps starting where you don't want to be, but you always have to have that hope. Where do you want to be in 10 years? I mean, I was born and raised in Lawndale. My goal was I would love to live in Redondo Beach and Palos Verdes, in the South Bay. I would love to have my kids, be in a great school district. I had hope. And when you have hope, you share that, and that's what you vibrate, and people will receive it. I can say my professor received it from me, so she was able to guide me. And that's what I do now for my clients. I give them hope and I help them and I guide them, and it's beautiful. And when you do ask, Halley, how many years and that I've been doing this, and wow, so long, so young, is because I think it's that hope that you give to those young clients. I was young at that time, right? So I had younger clients. And now it's so beautiful that they have babies. Now I'm helping their kids. And then eventually I can help their grandkids. Why? Because it's that hope and that it's that personal relationship that we give, and we, you know, I grow with them, and it's so amazing, right? Little by little, even me and my leadership, I grow, I share, and hey, now I'm working with different clientele. So it's amazing. I can always say it's a world of you know, of blessings. Definitely.
Very few careers or jobs do we get to create a generational igniter to their wealth and their security. And I think that's such a fulfilling feeling, right?
Yes, definitely. I mean, generational wealth, we speak about it, right? How we can help, even like NAREP, that's what we talk about, the generational wealth gap that there is. How we can, what we can do now to eventually pass on to our kids, to our children. And there is a gap there, but I think if we continue to work and we continue to educate ourselves and know that, hey, there's programs out there that can help you. I always encourage people just to continue learning, because there is hope, and there's programs, there's people, and there's, you know, us as professionals, as realtors, right? The word, you know, it's a realtor. Not every salesperson is a realtor, but how you are qualified, how we are also trained to do our due diligence, to be educated. That way we're able to help our clients, our family. I don't say clientele, right? We say our family, because that's who they are.
You can always feel that with you and your value proposition. Love that. It's family, but you touched a little bit about a very important organization to the real estate community, and that's NAREP. Introduce us, because people on the call may not know, what is NAREP? What is, first of all, what does the acronym stand for?
I know.
Tell
I
us
get
a
that.
little bit about your involvement there. Tell us a little bit about
Thank you. So NAREP, it's the National Association of Real Estate. Sorry, now I'm like NAR, right? National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals. So it's a huge organization too, that has been that has been on for many years. It's a way. I mean, it's a group just like Women's Council, an organization. It's made out of realtors, brokers, lenders, but overall, they speak a lot about the sorry, I just blanked out.
generational. Yeah, generational.
The generational wealth gap. And I think as Hispanics or immigrants, right, from Mexico or any other parts of the country, we lack that generational wealth gap, because perhaps our ancestors were not given the opportunity. So what we tend to do is how we can connect together nationwide and be able to learn about the programs, the banks. There's banks that actually sponsor, right, for African Americans, Latinos, to give those opportunities and to minorities. But overall, it's a group that you're able to network, meet anyone across the nation. It doesn't, you don't have to be a Latino. We embrace for anyone to come in and learn overall. I currently serve for, last year I served as education director for our local South Bay chapter, LA South Bay chapter, and currently I serve as a vice president. So it's an amazing organization. Yeah.
Oh, how great. So between NAREP, we have NAR, you're on the Global Real Estate Committee. Am I saying that right? Yeah. And Women's Council in your local association. You are clearly a leader at heart. So talk to me about where that comes from. Why do you lead? Why do you step up and get involved with these things and raise your hand and say, I want to serve?
So, wow, that's a that question actually touches me a lot, because going back to when I was younger and I was taking the courses from my real estate professor, who, wow, when I would see her, she had like this bib of designation, certifications, and, and so much education behind her. And at the time I just felt, well, I'm a little too young to get into leadership, because I think right now my main objective at the time was get educated, how we're able to help others and learn, right? So but I always saw her and I always admired how she was so giving, and how through any organization that she's served, I mean, I can go on, but Daughters of the Revolution, which is an amazing organization, I would see her in, all her meetings for committees, but how she had the drive to help others, And to me, I think that's a blessing because that's what she did for myself. So I knew one day in my path, I would want to not only help others how I did and how I do through real estate, guiding your clients and everything else, but also how we can help our real estate industry, our peers, our members, our colleagues, how we can guide them and give them outreach and teach them. There's so much outreach, based on these organizations. There's so much we learn, so much network that we can do, so much support. And I think that's where I figured, okay, it's about that time. I did real estate up till the time that I became a mom, and then I became a stay-at-home mom for a few years. So pretty much I had that little gap. But what I did prior was the investments, investing in myself and helping clients. And that's the beauty. When you do things from your heart and when you do things without even thinking, it's selfish, more selfless to help others, the blessings come. The blessings continue. So I was able to be a stay-at-home mom, PTA, soccer. I mean, we did all of that and we continue to do, right? But I figured this was the time and the moment to step into leadership. Now I'm able to share my story, lead by example. And I do tell people leadership is not, you don't have to wait till you're a certain age. You don't have to wait till you have children. You can, be 19 and become a leader. It's just pretty much what you learn and what you want to share to others, because there are different and, there's different pathways too. So once you decide and you figure this is the pathway that I want to do in leadership, you can, anything goes on, right? You have a world of opportunities.
All your organizations you just named, first of all, thank you for sharing, but a big part of many of them is community. As realtors, we can feel very like we're on an island, right? Unless we're working on a big team. So I think it creates too that sense of community. Think of the bonds that we've made with our fellow realtors, like even just getting to know you. It allows you to create masterminds and support systems. And how have you nourished that over your growth of leadership? Like, how important are those relationships to you?
I will tell you, super vital, super important. When I started, I mean, it was back then we had MapQuest or Thomas Guide. That was like the transition. We didn't have, Facebook, right? Google, we didn't even know what Google was. We were learning. So we had no communication with other realtors. You pretty much had to attend an event or attend a chamber of commerce, something, right? And as we know, chamber of commerce is not just realtors only, but that's a way to get out there and have some outreach with your community. I do recall years ago when all realtors were kind of secret, these are my ideas. This is my block. This is my area. And I can't share with, like everyone was so private, like this, that's how right? That's what I experienced seeing. But now it's like we have the internet, we have Facebook, we have all these, these platforms to share and to grow and to network. So I am a believer, once even getting involved in Women's Council, how we uplift each other, how it's not, oh, this is, it's only my network or it's only my area, how in our community, we also uplift other realtors and motivate them and introduce them, right, to other platforms, other realtors, because at the end of the day, I mean, power, it's amazing to have an empowerment of people around you that you can share from. So I am a believer that the internet and just connecting with everyone, being also in Women's Council has helped me just grow, meet people, interchange ideas. So it's a blessing, I can say, definitely.
I love that. Well, I know we're also very happy to have you and everything that you do. So let's switch gears just a little bit. And I wanted to pick your brain a little bit more about global. Okay. Because I'm sure we have people here on the call that have done global real estate, maybe are thinking about doing global. Where would someone even start if they wanted to get involved with global, sell, maybe get involved with the organization? Where would you start?
Okay. So global, basically, I'm going to just jump a little back when we said how realtors back in time, or even now, this is my block. This is my, this is my, right? when you door knock somewhere and it's like, no, that's where that person door knocks, right? People and some realtors, I'm not saying all, right? We can become very territorial.
Yeah.
And if you look, and in my mind, I've always said, we have the whole world to conquer. Why fight over a block? Why fight, or why even you get into that discussion, but we have the whole world. And if you think about it, we do have the whole world. It's not only because we're licensed here in California that we can only sell in California. That's the beauty of being able to network. That's the beauty of being able to get involved, because we are able to also sell in any part of the world. And that's the beauty of the National Association of Realtors. I currently serve in their their global business and alliance committee. So basically, the National Association of Realtors is able to go and do bilateral partnerships with other countries. So these people that are, we can say they're licensed agents, they become realtors too. So they are trained as a realtor. So they are certified as a realtor, which makes it so important that us here in the US or any part of the country here I said here in California or any other part of the country, we're able to connect and network with them too. So a lot of agents could say, well, it's not easy to sell globally because I don't speak the language. Well, guess what? That's the beauty. And that's what I tell realtors. You don't have to speak the language in order to sell. Let's say you have someone from Mexico and you don't speak Spanish. Well, you're able to refer them to an agent in Mexico, a realtor in Mexico. You're able to refer, someone from Japan. So you're able to refer, and you're able to still make, your income and sell. I think that it's a great opportunity also, because we do say people are running out of California, right? Because the, prices are so high and everything. So this is also a great way to, hey, maybe you have clients that want to purchase in Cabo or Cancun even as a second home or as investment. So when we're connected under, the organizations that we serve, because we all have the ability, we are all realtors, right? We're under the National Association of Realtors. We are able to connect, to get a little more involved, or just to learn a little. And I think that's also a great pathway, a great outreach for your business as well.
I think we think too small, just like you shared, we need to think globally, stop thinking so territorial and think all over the world. And that's just so much of a bigger picture. We say whether you're moving down the street or across the globe, your first phone call should be me. That's when you're capitalizing on the relationship.
Correct.
And relationships are so important to build in real estate.
Most definitely. The more when you grow, you're able to take your clients and share those ideas. And yes, it starts with planting that seed of hope from the very, very beginning. They will always entrust in you because you guided them, right? In their first, we can say it's a transaction, but at the end of the day, we know it's a huge investment over their head, a huge investment. It's the roof over their head, whether it's a $300 home, whether it's $1 million home. They work really hard and they're working for their American dream. So when they know that you are guiding them, that you are, and they entrust in you, they will entrust in you to continue as you grow and you share all, everything else that you're doing and all the ideas. They will listen and pay attention and maybe get motivated with whatever, you're doing for your clients. Yeah. And for your own personal.
I love that. Don't think small, think big, think global. That's what the tagline should be. Don't think small, think global, right?
Yes, definitely.
I'm sure, I'm sure there's some people here on the call, maybe getting started in real estate, first year, struggling, etc. Claudia, let's say we waved a magic wand and you had to start all over today as a brand new agent. What would you say to yourself from all the years and things that you've learned? What would you say to yourself? What advice would you give?
Wow, I do believe you have to start with your sphere of influence. If you're in school, if you're in college, talk to your friends, talk to your classmates. They're the ones that are probably going to need, we know everyone's going to eventually, right? That's the American dream, buy a house, buy an investment. I think we always think, well, who do I attract? What do I do? How do I, follow this person or how that person is doing? Look within yourself. Look within yourself. I know you believe in yourself. And I know you believe that's why you're taking the classes. That's why you're doing what you're doing now, selling real estate. But I think at the end of the day, it's who is around you. So if you're in school, it's your peers, your classmates. I can tell you, that's how I started. When I started, my first transaction was someone that I knew, right, in school, which was amazing. And then it's maybe your work around. If you're working part-time, who is, who your colleagues, who are those colleagues, help, maybe how you can help them. Speak about real estate. One thing I did, my professor would teach me a lot, is just speak about it. You don't have to say, hey, I sell houses, and no, be a little intentional, because if you don't promote what you do, how are people going to believe in and trust in what you do? For many years, as I think, Callie, you and I discussed, I did become a little closet agent, right? When I became a stay-at-home mom, I wouldn't talk about it because I figured that's not what I was doing at the time. And when I got back into doing it, I remember a financial analyst friend told me, how are people going to trust in you, Claudia? You are a landlord, you own commercial, but how are people going to know now that you're, coming back? And when I say coming back is actually with now new clientele, because the previous clientele, they were there. So what I would do at the time, I would just refer them out. They were there, they still entrusted in me, but I would refer them out at the time. So they entrusted, I was able to refer them to a great agent. But for new realtors or my peers, my PTA, people around the ball games, the soccer fields, will they know if I don't speak about it, right? So I figured, you know what, that is true. Let's start talking about it. Let's start sharing. So I had to do that breakthrough too, where I was able to, hey, lead by example. Like, that's true. If I don't share it, how are people going to know, right? It's like having a YouTube channel, but if you don't promote it, it's going to sit there. You could fill it up with anything, but if no one's connected, no one's going to watch anything, right? So I think at the end of the day, it's just believe in what you believe. It's not selling. You're not selling a product, and you're not selling a dream, right? You're giving hope, and you're helping, and you're encouraging others into that dream. So I think when you believe it within your heart, it comes out, and that's beautiful. I do think we're all also unique in our own way. We cannot be like the neighbor. We cannot be like the other realtor. It's who you are and who radiates, and that's okay. Not everyone's going to radiate because everyone's different. We're all different, but those personalities, those are the great personalities that you're going to attract. And those are the great personalities that are going to be your clients forever as well.
Oh, what beautiful notes. I love that. Well, we're getting ready to wrap up on time. Any last comments to anyone here on the call before we sign off? Any last comments? Claudia, anyone questions? Claudia could go ahead.
So just want to tell everyone, thank you. Thank you guys for being on this call. It's a pleasure and it's an honor to be here. How I tell people, just believe in yourself. We do have changes in our life, not because we're a certain age, we're like, okay, this is it. This is what I want to do. Even in real estate, there's so many pathways. There's so many things that you can do in real estate, investing. I mean, I just, now I always said in my brain, we have the whole world, but I just never knew how to apply it. Through the global journey, that I found that is my global pathway. I just wanted to share one more little thing with you guys, because for many years, I wanted to buy property in Mexico. I just didn't know how. And I'm talking many years, ever since I probably got my license. So once I learned how global worked, I can tell you guys that I just invested last year in some lots in Mexico, and we're creating like Airbnbs. But through that, I also got the courage to become a Mexican citizen. And that I wanted to do many years as well. I just didn't know how, probably asking the wrong person or not even, doing the correct research. So I learned, and I'm here to just tell you guys, when your mind and you have the ability to do something, go for it. Don't let anything stop you. And I just also want to reach out to you guys. If you guys ever need help with any of that, I'm here to help. I'm here to guide. It took some time, but it was amazing. I was able to do it. And And I just want to be able to share with you guys, you know, my tramps and for you guys to also learn.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Claudia. You guys, Claudia Diaz, wonderful, beautiful. Thank you so much. Take so many of this is so good, such positive energy today. Take all this, you know, fill it in, take the things that Claudia said. One of the big notes that you just kept hitting over and over again was just, you know, don't give up, make sure you really apply yourself, find your community of people, get involved, ask questions, do your research, and if you guys do this and don't give up, there is no doubt you will be successful in everything that you do. So have a great Friday, everyone. Make it productive. Make sure you're doing open houses this weekend. Okay. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.
Claudia, did you want to put your contact info in the chat? There are a couple people that asked.
So let me try. Yeah, I'll try to read your Claudia's.
There we go. Kim, you want to stop recording? We can keep the Zoom on, but do you want to stop recording, Kim?